this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth about semen retention and how you can leverage this very powerful force to become a stronger and more grounded version of yourself, so that you can wake up in the morning feeling driven, feeling motivated, feeling excited, feeling enthusiastic, and feeling inspired to live up to your potential rather than struggling to crawl out of bed in the morning. So Napoleon Hill has talked about how sexual transmutation is a principle that has driven the success of the world builders, the history makers, and high achievers of all of human history. But he never actually talks about how we can implement sexual transmutation and expand our creativity. So in this video, stick to the end where I'll be sharing with you a simple daily practice that will help you implement sexual transmutation rather than just knowing that it is something you should do, all right? Because you already know that semen retention is beneficial, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. But how can you actually practice it? Stick to the end and you will find out. Now, before diving into the content of this video, just a public service announcement letting you know that Awaken Your Alpha is now open for enrollment. So click the link below to get on a consultation call with me to figure out whether this is the best fit for you and how we can help you moving forward. Now, Awaken Your Alpha is a step-by-step 12-week course on how to master your mental, physical, and sexual energy. So click the link below to schedule a call with me and we will do the best to help you out in that regard. Now, when we talk about semen retention, when we talk about NoFap, FYI, they are not the same thing. I'll be talking about this moving forward. But they are rooted back to porn addiction, to being addicted to masturbation, to jacking your beanstalk, to busting your nuts out, even though you know that this is not the best thing for you. So why is it that we engage in behavior that is destructive to us? This is what is defined in a clinical context as addiction, whereby the reward system in your brain has become rewired to favor a particular behavior that is actually damaging your wellness in the long term. And the difference really is in the first order consequences of an action and the second order consequences of an action. So when you are watching porn, when you are masturbating, when you are busting a nut, your brain gets excited, it releases the dopamine, you feel really good. And that is the first order consequence. But when you stack that up day by day, when you keep jacking off, when you keep busting a nut, then the second order consequence is that you begin suffering from social anxiety, you lose your drive, you have laziness, you are just unable to have the energy to work out, to eat healthy, your willpower is destroyed. And I know all of this because I'm speaking from personal experience, okay? When from the ages of 16 to 21 years old, I was watching porn first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and the more I did that, the more I actually filled up my middle days as well. And I was just losing touch with what I wanted in life. I was losing touch with my own masculine desires of what I'm here to do, of my purpose, of my passion, of my personal power. And the reason is because I was losing it all through my ejaculation. All right, now understand that sexual energy, the drive to procreate, is the driving force behind all of nature. It's the driving force behind the perpetuation of all species, okay? So sex is the vehicle through which nature perpetuates its species, and sexual energy is the same thing as our creative energy, okay? So let that sink in for a moment, because creativity is what separates human beings from every other organism out there, right? The ability to picture something in our mind and to bring it out into fruition in this physical universe is the expression of creativity. Now, for animals, of course, this factors into creating and perpetuating their own species. It factors into procreation. But humans are special in the sense that we can channel this drive into creativity, into creating something that wasn't there before by leveraging the power of our imagination. So the more that you're letting go of your creative energy through your ejaculation, because all of that sexual essence, as they talk about in Taoism, which is your Qing energy, the more you let go of your Qing energy, which is stored in your sperm, the less you have available to go and create the results in your life. And at the end of the day, we all have a choice to make, all right? Whether you want to be the conscious creator that is living in alignment with taking responsibility for the life that you have, or you will be the subconscious victim who is reacting to circumstances outside of you. And the difference really comes down to whether or not you take responsibility first and foremost, but your ability to take responsibility comes down to how much creative energy you have in store for yourself. Because if you don't have creative energy, then you will be unable to create the results that you want in your life. You will be reacting to the external circumstances in your life rather than grabbing life by the horns and taking it where you want to go, because you are lacking the sexual energy, aka creative energy, because you have let it go to your sperm. So really understand that creativity is what will determine whether you can create the results in your life. And if you are unable to create the results in your life, ask yourself how much you have been ejaculating recently. Because if you don't have the sexual energy, if you don't have the creative energy, then how can you create? You're just going to be the subconscious victim of external programming, of external circumstances, and you will remain the victim of your life. To the difference between semen retention and NoFap. So when I got started on this journey, of course, NoFap was a huge movement on Reddit. They had their own forums, and it was good because I could contact other people, other men who were also struggling with the same thing and holding each other accountable. And it really helped me rewire my dopamine reward system, because it helped me quit pornography completely and let go of this dependence on this quick fix, instant gratification, pleasure burst, and favor the future that I would be creating as a result of preserving my sexual energy. But the truth is that I actually ended up in a situation where all of that sexual energy would be released either through a wet dream, or it'd be released through, I went through a situation pretty crazy that I was doing leg raises in the gym, and I was like, shit, this feels really good, I'm gonna keep doing it. And I felt like I was on the edge, and then I bust a nut in the freaking gym. So the reason for this is because I was practicing NoFap, but the sexual energy was not being channeled throughout my body. And this is what sexual transmutation really is, okay? Whereby we transform that sexual energy to the higher centers of our upper body, to our brain, for expanded levels of creativity. But with NoFap, no one really talks about how we can actually channel our sexual energy. It's more like just preserving it and not transmuting it. So the difference with semen retention is that you can still go ahead and practice having sex with a woman. You can have the practice of solo cultivation, which I will be sharing with you towards the end of this video. But the difference is that with semen retention, this brings us to the next point, separating ejaculation from orgasm, okay? Most men are unaware that orgasm and ejaculation are actually two separate things. So ejaculation takes place at the precipice of orgasm. So orgasm, the Taoists talk about how every cell in our body is permeating with orgasmic energy. So ideally, the Taoists tell us that we should be experiencing that orgasmic energy every single day. Now, I was confused about this because I used to think that orgasm and ejaculation were the same thing. But the truth is that if you learn to separate between orgasm and ejaculation, then you can tap into the power of sexual transmutation, because you use that orgasmic energy, you start in your balls, and then you go up your sacrum, and you channel it up your spine towards your head, and then you experience this whole body orgasm, which is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. All right, this is something that really steps things up to the next level. This is where you experience that oneness with the universe, and this is where the bridge is drawn between spirituality and sexuality. All right, this is why in the ancient Eastern traditions of Tantra, of Taoism, as I've talked about, they have actually integrated sexuality, the experience of this deep, fulfilling passion with another, as a bridge towards experiencing deeper levels of yourself and oneness with the universe as well, okay? So this really starts with separating ejaculation from orgasm, and understand with semen retention, you are still able to form a deep, fulfilling, passionate relationship with someone else. You are still able to masturbate, all right? This is not about having a moral judgment on whether masturbation will send you to hell or anything. I think we're beyond that at this point and understand that that's not really the issue. but it's about understanding that that sexual energy cannot just be lying dormant over there. It has to be transmutated. This is what Napoleon Hill talked about as well. And the key to doing that is by experiencing orgasm, of separating between orgasm and ejaculation, and channeling that sexual energy up your spine towards your head. Okay, that is the essence of it. Of course, there is a lot that goes into it. It's not something that will happen overnight. There's a lot of practices that go into this. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to make more videos on this topic, so I will do that and share some practices with you. But like I mentioned at the start of this video, the one practice you can do every single day to increase your awareness on the difference between ejaculation and orgasm is to practice solo cultivation. All right, solo cultivation is what the Taoists refer to as masturbation, and with semen retention you can masturbate. All right, this is actually going to help you deepen an understanding of your own sexuality and help you actually last longer when you are with a woman as well. All right, so the way to do this is edging. All right, so you want to be getting a deep awareness of how you feel and what the difference is when you tip over into the precipice of ejaculation. All right, so you want to first and foremost be coming at this from a completely different lens. So when I was addicted to pornography, I used to always feel guilt and shame afterwards. But when we are engaged in the process of solo cultivation, we come to it as we're making love to ourselves. All right, it's like we have that deep self-love for ourselves and we're expressing it through the practice of solo cultivation. And the practice really is to get on the edge of ejaculation and just stop right before we tip into that ejaculation. And once we can really gain an awareness on the difference between it, that is when we begin to exercise our strength over the PC muscle. All right, the pubic muscle. Pretty hard to pronounce, but it's just usually pronounced the PC muscle. And the way you can increase your strength and control over the PC muscle is by practicing your pissing. Okay, practicing your pissing. So whenever you're peeing, get on your toes and pee with full force, and then stop with full force and hold it for a couple of seconds. Pee, stop, pee, stop. And this is you exercising control over your PC muscle. All right, so this is the same muscle that you can use, that when you tip over into orgasm, you flex this muscle really hard and then you experience orgasm without ejaculation, and then you channel that energy up your spine towards your head and use that for expanded levels of creativity and use it to tap into your personal power as well. All right, so definitely I recommend that you can practice with a partner. Of course, that's the ideal situation. And once you are able to really master this technique, this strategy, that is when you can tap into having multiple male orgasms as well and experience this deep experience with someone else, whereby you're not ejaculating, you're not letting your life force go, and you're actually recycling that energy throughout your body and feeling better, feeling more grounded, and feeling more able to tap into that world of potential that lives within you. All right, so of course this is way more than I can cover in a 10 to 15 minute video. So if this is something you're interested in diving deeper into, definitely check out the consultation call below where we can get on the call together, because there's an entire module dedicated entirely to mastering this area of your life as well. All right, so check that out below, the Awaken Your Alpha program. And we have an entire module focused on how to implement the strategies, the practices, the techniques, the mindsets to tap into your sexuality to increase and deepen your awareness of your spirituality as well. All right, so understand that NoFap and semen retention aren't the same thing. I actually went through sexual frustration when I was going through this NoFap because that sexual energy wasn't being channeled throughout my body. Okay, so definitely schedule a consultation call with me if this is something that is resonating with you right now and something you want to dive deeper into and you see room for improvement in every other area of your life as well. Then we can talk more about that. Click the link below to schedule a call with me. But with all that being said, I hope this has been valuable for you, as I hope that it's expanded your awareness on this whole area of semen retention, NoFap, sexual transmutation, and I can definitely make more videos for you. Let me know in the comments if that is something you want me to do. But with all that being said, this has been Saleem, and I will see you in the next video.